Hello viewers, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a response to a lot of the videos that I see on YouTube lately about the UK falling, the state of the country and what it's ended up as. And a lot of these views are that the country's changed and the country's gone downhill. And to be honest, when you really examine them, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the way the government is running the country. It's more to do with people's cowardly views of who should be in the country and who shouldn't. And not even so much about legal immigration, but just more, some people have this view that, you know, Great Britain should just be full of white people. I always had friends from all walks of life, all different parts of the globe. For me, I don't see the colour in people, and I'm also not affected by their religious beliefs, and don't really feel that like any of us should be. This video is not going to be about criticising those that make these sensationalist videos. It's going to be just a way to celebrate, I think, what we have in the country and to explore how much more interesting the country is because we have cultures from everywhere. Look at this place. Maybe it was like a cinema or maybe like a theatre or something once upon a time. Now it doesn't look like it's anything. So some countries that you visit, like Portugal for example, one thing interesting that I noticed there was that almost all of the restaurants were Portuguese food. When you go to the UK, how many English restaurants do you see? I mean, other than like the pub, right? You've got the pub that serves like roasts, and you've got the cafe or the cafe if you're a bit more fancy. How many like English cuisine places are there? There's really not that many. And then if you think about the things that people like in the UK, let's say like football for example, right? Think about like the Premier League. Maybe half or 2/3 of the players are not even from the UK. So there's a lot of foreign influence there. So yeah, so not that many British players. We've seen what happens when you have the national English team and it's just English players. Don't really do that well. Check it out. Oh, we can see it better now. That is huge though. It's a nice message if you get it, but some people probably won't understand it. Wow. Oh, and some amazing food. Hello. We better not stop at the food because I'll have to buy some. I feel like something else that's happened, which also kind of is a sign of British people letting their culture go, is that there's so much imported produce now, so much fruit and veg is from elsewhere, like avocados for example. Avocados are coming from places like Cuba and Brazil and stuff like that. We definitely don't have British avocados. I mean, we're even getting our spring onions from like Senegal and Egypt, and I'm pretty sure we can grow spring onions. If people would be eating according to the seasons, then they would know when it's time for, you know, potatoes, and when it's time for like apples and pears and plums and strawberries. But a lot of the people in the cities, they don't have a clue. Like, they don't even know when the seasons are, like what defines them anymore. So when they go to the shop, which a lot of times is the supermarket, they just like, they want to be able to buy that fruit and veg at any time of year, completely ignorant to the fact that you can't even get that thing usually at that time of year. I'm gonna guess and say that maybe she's Bollywood star, maybe? I don't know, her face looks familiar. I haven't watched any Bollywood movies, but those actors are so fucking famous that even if you've never seen any Bollywood, you're probably likely that you've seen their faces before. Guys, I finally managed to find a food that I'm totally obsessed with called burek. I had it in Croatia before. I don't know, there's a big argument over who actually created burek, whether it's Albanians, Turks, Macedonians, but all I know is it's lovely. You can get it with filling of cheese, sometimes with meat. This one is just a cheese filling. And it's essentially just flaky pastry baked with some delicious inside. I remembered to press record before I ate the whole thing, but this is basically how it looks inside. And it's a good burek. I would rate this. I don't want to rate it actually, because it's probably a bit rude. It's inside. I'm going to try it now. Flaky, cheesy, golden and crispy. I don't know how much it costs, but it's worth every penny. If you get a chance, you need to eat burek, and life will be complete. This is one of the best foods from the Balkans. I will definitely be back. One trend I've noticed that seems to be on the rise in this country, especially from people that were born here, is there's a lot of people now making content that maybe were making videos about something before, and now they're just pumping out these sensationalist videos, often with thumbnails that have been photoshopped, so they're not even depicting something that's really there, but it will have a person on the foreground, like the creator, of like a shocked face of like, or like a look of disgust or something, and then they'll basically just copy and paste loads of imagery of people from certain ethnicity or certain religion, often targeting people like Muslims, and all these videos aim to do is to, like, I guess they want to gather loads of people together, so people can all collectively hate on a certain group of people. You know, I've seen this trend rise a lot, and I saw a really good comment on a Drew Binsky video yesterday, and someone basically wrote that you know, you're in a good part of the country when people are blaming the government and not illegal immigration. I was watching one of the James May's travel videos the other day where he's in India and he's going around with this Indian comedian, this woman, like funny woman, and she keeps on bringing up like, you know, in a joking fashion, but keeps on bringing up like how Britain invaded India. His response to it was like, are you going to keep bringing that up? And she's like, well, James, she's like, it did happen, so we can't really forget about it. So even though it was not you that did it, it's still your country that did it. So it's not that we should be ashamed of the history. That's probably not very constructive, but I think we do have to exercise a certain degree of tolerance, and of people that maybe want to visit and start a life in the country that originally colonized them. I mean, that is a trend that happens. I mean, France, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, they all had empire at some point, and we've seen the shift of people from those places that now want to go live in those places, because the places that they live in don't really have the most opportunity. And you get a lot of people that are born in a country that think that they own a country and they own the right to be able to say who can live there, and what the ethnic makeup of people should be in that place. These people that they're not very eloquent, they can't articulate their ideas, they seem angry about things that they seem to not be getting in the country, in the UK, and the people that are really robbing them, the people that are really responsible a lot of the time is the government. I mean, we've seen in the last few elections that whether it's been Conservative government or it's been Labour government, they're all doing the same shit. I mean, they're all lying, they're all increasing taxes. I mean, even look what this Labour government's doing with like things like digital IDs. If our government didn't get us involved in so many wars in the Middle East over the span of a couple of decades, we wouldn't have so many people that had to come and seek refuge in the UK. Maybe that's going to be very divisive opinion-wise, but let me know what you guys think in the comments about the situation. I mean, I think that we can't say that the country's got clean hands and that we've got a squeaky clean record. A lot of the people that make these videos where they're like, you know, they've got racist undertones and they've got xenophobic undertones, I don't see these people making an effort to try and get into politics or to make an effort to lead the country in any kind of good direction. They don't have a plan, they don't have a better idea of how they can lead the country, so they just want to blame it on first people that they can see. If you think about it, if you think about white people that we have in this country, who are most of the serial killers in this country, right? Who are majority of the murderers, paedophiles, all the horrible people that we have? Where do they come from? And I know it's proportional because we are the majority of people that are here, but I think before you point fingers at other people, you need to first look at yourself. Such a peaceful place out here, other than the road behind me. I'm not saying we need a revolution, but I think that people need to be more angry at the government. People need to think about, if we do need people from like more of a humble beginnings, more of like a working class background, then why aren't they representing the country and pushing us forward? Why is it the rich elite that, you know, went to private schools and boarding schools and they can't relate to people like you and me on the way that we have to live? They got no real concept of money because they've always had money. I just find that crazy. I think a lot of people, when it comes to politics, they just kind of switch off. I mean, to use like Boris Johnson as an example, all the bad stuff that guy did, and it seems like you just give it a couple of years and so many like random people from the street were just ready to welcome him back again. Some people here, it seems that they pick a politician that they want or they trust based on if they like their tie or not, which is just fucking mad, man. It doesn't make any sense. Bloody hell, I wonder what's happened here. It's a load of police tape and it looks like someone's car went down there. Fuck me, still bits of the car there. Wow, that got mangled. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. And there's a road called Coriander Road. What the fuck? Interesting. Yeah, guys, talking of food, something I think is funny, right? We talk about like British culture. People always think straight away about like British love to drink lots of tea, which is kind of true, but I feel like in the cities people prefer coffee. Think about like people eating beans on toast, fish and chips. But why are the most of the street food stalls like Asian food and like Caribbean food? Where's the beans on toast on the food stall? I've never seen it before. The thing about like, I'm only really talking about the cities. I can't really speak for the villages and stuff, but who's most of the people that run like fish and chip shops, right? It's not British people in the fish and chip shops. And then if you think about like the calf, like where you get your cooked breakfast, your full English breakfast, apparently it's never cooked by British people anyway. So it's not really an English, well, it is an English breakfast, but if that's such a strong part of the culture, then why are we not cooking it? That I don't know. I mean, there is one place you do see the British people, and that's often when it's like alcohol is involved. So if it's a pub, then you can bet your bottom dollar that there'll be British people running it. But I think a lot of the time that's been like, it's been kept in the family. But yeah, when you think about it, some of the things we like the most, like kebab, people love kebab, Chinese, Indian, those are all like foreign run businesses. But then also like the fish and chips, it's also run by, I don't know, people from China, people from Turkey, people from the Middle East. It's kind of wild. Even like the fried chicken as well. Fried chicken is a big thing, and you know, white and black people alike in the UK really like to eat fried chicken, but boss man is usually Asian, so don't really know how that works. I feel like maybe sometimes people, when they come on holiday, they go into the fish and chip shop and they expect to see like fish and chips, like, oh, British people are going to be cooking us a great fish and chips. I've never seen one in my life. Maybe when I've gone to Cornwall have I seen like a British person making fish and chips. Let's check for bikes. But I don't even mean like British person in terms of someone that's white. I just mean someone that's born here. It just doesn't really happen. And you know what, there's another thing that's quite interesting about this country, right? And I think another good reason why I think Great Britain is great is once you've done a little bit of traveling around, like for me, I've gone around Europe like decent amount. Once you visit different countries, there's a lot of things that you can come to like about other countries, but there's a lot of things that happen in countries in the world that really like just seem really cruel, like whether it's like ethnic cleansing that's happening in like China, or people being put into labor camps even as children in like North Korea, People being like sacrificed for like organs and stuff like that in places in Africa. I mean, there's some crazy shit. There's countries like the UAE where it's illegal to be homosexual, which is also messed up. So one great thing the country has is, I guess you could say it's very forward thinking, it's very modern, very tolerant. Well, we're very known for being very tolerant of different people. And I think when it comes to crime as well, I think we're very lenient, man. Like, we probably have like one of the most lenient police forces out there. There are places out there that are just as progressive, but I think we definitely have one of the most progressive and forward thinking. As long as we don't let these people like gain in numbers, like, you know, people that are really close-minded and stuff, because then they're just going to be putting the place backwards. And then I think a lot of these people that gather in the comments of these videos where, you know, they're talking about the good old days and they want Britain to be white and stuff like that, but man, they weren't even alive in those days. If you think about Britain during the war, it seemed like a pretty depressing place. I mean, it's filled with smog. You had children like working in mines. You had like women and children working in like factories getting mangled by machinery because there was no health and safety. You know, people didn't have like great diets. There wasn't really like a lot of prosperity. So I don't know, if that's the kind of time that people are really missing, then for me it don't really make a lot of sense at all. Guys, I think we've arrived in the ghetto officially, because it's not often that you see that even this isn't working. Look, it has string on it and it's just one big suicide junction. None of the traffic lights work. I feel like, oh my god, I feel like we're gonna witness a massive crash happen. So you just gotta pick when to go. Oh my god. Suicide, man. And on top of that, I gotta show you this street. I don't know where we are, but we must be in the ghetto. Look, let me show you this street. Is this one working? Not only are they not working, they look like they're like ancient. Am I in the ghetto now? Officially in the ghetto?
I don't know what the ghetto is.
No, because none of the, even the buttons work for the, that's just like Russian roulette, that junction right there.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't even know about the ghetto. Look at this building right here. Wow. It does look a bit rough. I think we're gonna be fine. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I say that. There's just like wood everywhere. Maybe it's a bit scary. Is it a rough area? People aren't even talking to me, so it must be rough. Don't think it's that bad. Doesn't scare me. I've seen worse places before. They do have weird wheelie bins though, check that out. I've never seen that in my life. Guys, this is not something that you see that often in this country anymore. I found an actual mosaic. I feel like Bald and Bankrupt would be very proud. This is like a Soviet mosaic, but in the UK. Check it out. Winding wall and shearing sheep. The quality is actually pretty sick. Guys, that's dope. We used to have that where I live, but they got rid of all of them. Sick. Oh, that is epic, isn't it? Mosaic! Can't believe we found a mosaic. It's the first mosaic I found in Leicester. That's actually dope. Some random streets like this that make me think this is like you could be in Liverpool or Manchester or something. We don't really have many streets to look like this in London, but I guess at least they got parking spaces. I'm gonna try and head back into the city now because I actually need to urinate. And some of these front doors look pretty scary. They look pretty spooky. We're gonna try and get into the centre. And I think where that massive brutalist thing is like where the centre is, because I kind of remember that. There's not many high-rises here. That is actually one of them that I do remember. Look at this place on the corner. Wow. See if I can get myself a hot chocolate or something. They do have a little shop here, but I don't know if it's going to have anything good. Rydal Street. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So apparently if I go down here, one guy told me that there'll be like the stadium for the Leicester Tigers, and then I get to near Victoria Park, which is, it's a pretty nice park. Oh, there's some good God rays on that. Look at that. So I'm gonna try and find it and see. It's beautiful sun. My hands are absolutely frozen though, but don't really wear gloves because I kind of figure that gloves don't really do anything, when I went to Prague a couple of years ago at Christmas, it got down to like 10 degrees on a couple of the days. And even though I had my gloves on, my hand just got so cold that I just gave up. And then in the end I realised your hands can only get so cold, and then they kind of just warm up again anyway. So yeah, I guess that's just how it goes. There's some nice cars though, some decent whips, but maybe it's a little bit like the ghetto. So let's see what we can find down this road. I mean, to be honest guys, actually I think I got to the end of everything I wanted to say. This video is probably going to be an hour long already. I think we're going to call it a day here. I hope you found the video interesting and insightful, and hopefully if I managed to post this then I didn't die in this area. So as usual, let me guys know what you thought, and I'll see you in another video really soon. Have yourselves a good day. Peace.